Hey guys, welcome to Unbiased Rugby. So today I'm going to be talking about round four of the European Championships Cup. It was a great weekend of another great weekend of rugby. I think I've only watched four of the games so far. The other ones I've still got to watch the highlights and things like that. But what I try to do is I try to leave a game every night, and from about 9:30 I watch a game till about midnight. So at least I'm always entertained. But I'm going to go through the games that I was able to watch this weekend. But I'm going to go through my Super Brew scores. I actually got two wrong out of, I think, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 games. It's not bad. I got 8 right. I seem to be doing a lot better in my predictions for European Championship Cup as opposed to Super Rugby. But I think Super Rugby, I'm quite biased when it comes to choosing my teams and the scores. And I've been quite impressed. My automatic group that I was assigned to, I jumped up another 3-4 positions. I'm in third place. My blow buller forever, I've also jumped up a few positions. I'm in 13th spot out of 51. So I seem to be doing quite well in most of my leagues. Let me go through the scores and the games, and I'll talk about the games that and what I really picked up over the whole weekend. So the first one we got Gloucester versus Exeter. I really thought Gloucester would win, but last week I'd spoken about that I wasn't very impressed with the Exeter side. I just thought they weren't the same team as they were last year, but I was completely wrong. They haven't disappeared. They're still as strong as ever. I felt they dominated that game completely. Gloucester lost, and Exeter won 29-17 to Exeter. It was so nice to see Franco Mostert playing. Most people don't realise that the guy's played a whole Super Rugby, a whole international season. I think he played Japan before that, did Super Rugby before that. Guy hasn't had a break in a couple of years, and he still does 25 plus tackles in a game. Guy's got an exceptional work rate, and the Gloucester fans out there, you're going to be so impressed with him. He is just such a good player. And the one thing I did notice is that Gloucester are really lacking in props. But then I think it was a general theme for the whole weekend, but I'll speak about that at the end. Next game we had Ulster versus Scarlets. Ulster won 30-15. It was another game that I predicted Ulster would win, so I was correct. Next was Cardiff versus Saracens. Saracens 26, Cardiff 14. Also I still thought it was a dominant display from, I think they had the same amount of tries, but it was just the penalties, and it came down to propping. Lack of props on the Cardiff side, but I'll come back to that part. Next one we had Glasgow versus Leon. I think that is it. I also got that one right. Glasgow 21, Leon 10. I actually got match points and bonus points for that. Then Toulouse against Wasps. We had Toulouse 42, Wasps 27. Also another one that I'd got right. Then I think the game of the weekend was Leinster versus Bath. I think Bath were completely outplayed, outmatched, out everything in that game. That's the Leinster that we all know. Absolute dominant display. Next game of the weekend, we've got Castries versus Munster. I put Munster to win. They only lost by 1 point, so they obviously still get a losing bonus point. And then we've got Leicester versus Racing. Racing won 34-11. Racing, I really rate Racing as a team, and they are showing why they are such a good side. Then Montpellier versus Toulon, 34-13 to Montpellier. Another one that I got right. And then Newcastle versus Edinburgh. Edinburgh 21, Newcastle 8. Another one I got right with bonus points. I just want to see if I can actually see the pools here, pool tables. Actually, I've got it all lined up here on my screen. It's actually not showing it. There we go. So if I look at pool 1, Toulouse. And Toulouse is still right at the top. 4 out of 4. Leinster right behind them. Those are the two teams that are going through. The other teams, there's not even a mathematical chance that they would be able to get through. So it looks like Leinster and Toulouse are going to be going through on that side. Next one we've got pool 2. Munster still at the top from 4 for. Let's see, they've got some bonus points there. So 2 from 4. Castries also 2 from 4. Gloucester also had two from 4, but they're a bit behind Exeter Chiefs. So we'll see. It's still fairly open, that one. It depends who's going to win the next game, who's going to take it. I think Gloucester might have I'm not sure if they've got a harder couple of games, but we'll see. Next one, we've got Saracen, Pool 3. I'm sure Saracens are going to go through with Glasgow. Pool 4, we've got Racing and Ulster, 1 and 2. Pool 5, Edinburgh, Newcastle, I think have a small chance of getting through, but I still think Montpellier might make it. But coming back to the scores, one thing I did notice over the weekend is I picked it up in the Saracens game, I picked it up in the Leinster game, is how important your tight five are, especially your tight head prop. And if you don't have a decent tight head prop, you're just never ever going to be able to. I think in the one game I saw there were 6 scrum penalties against the side, and there's no way if 3 of those are in kickable positions, that's 9 points. And it just goes to show how important the scrums are. It's such a great way of creating dominance and getting go forward ball, but not even that. It's just such a great way of actually having of gaining penalties. If you've got a really good attacking tight furlong, Vincent Koch. These are really, really good tight heads. I'd say probably the 2 best in the competition of those 2. I think Tide Furlong's I think if I looked at the both of them, I think Tide Furlong and Vincent Koch are at scrum time are very, very, I think, neck on neck. So they're very, very close. But as an absolute rugby player, Tide Furlong is just leaps and bounds ahead of Vincent Koch. So as the ultimate rugby player, I'd say that, but it just goes to show how important it is to have that attacking tight head. Traditionally, in these days, most of the attacking comes from the loose head side because of the numbers inside the scrum. So it's having a Makavinapola, Stephen Kitsov, not that he plays in this competition, but this is where the attacking side comes from on the thing, and normally you'd have your tight head on your other side is quite stable, keeping it quite stable, and then once you've got your go forward, then attacking from your loose head. But if you've got the option of you have an attacking tight head, I just think it just opens up so many more opportunities for you, especially for penalties and gaining territory. Because once you've got your penalty, kick out down the field, another line out close to the line. I've seen many tries scored that way. Penalty in your 22, you kick out to the 10 meter, bit of a driving maul, another penalty, another scrum penalty or something like that, score. So it just seems like there's some teams are really lacking some really strong. What game was I watching with a 150 kilogram prop? I think it was Leinster versus Racing. I thought that prop would be completely dominant, but you could see he's just not a tight furlong. He may be 150 kilograms, but he just doesn't have the same kind of skill. So weight's not always the most important thing, or size, or anything like that. Sometimes it's about technique, it's about attitude, it's about a lot of things. So overall, I enjoyed the games on the weekend. I'm doing really well in my pools. I seem to be doing a lot better in European Championship. Now we've got to wait till next year. I don't think there's not many more European Championship games, but I'm looking forward to this coming weekend because I think we'll have 5 of the Pro 14 games on this weekend. We don't normally have that here on local telly. We've got normally just the Cheetahs and the Kings, and not to be derogatory or anything, those generally aren't the most exciting games to watch. It's pretty one-sided. They seem to be getting a little bit closer now, but it's nice to watch some of the other sides going hammer and tongs at each other. So it'd be nice that now we've got 4 or 5 games, or 5 games of Pro 14 this weekend, a few top 14 games. But yeah, it's coming through to the end of the year. It's pretty slow, and I think my last day at work. So yeah. But listen, guys, I had a great weekend of rugby. I've enjoyed it all, and please put your comments down below of what you thought of the weekend's games, how you thought they played out, who you thought were standout players, and where you thought the general direction of the competition is going. Listen, guys, I hope you have a great week. Chat soon. Bye.